Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Iris Podcast. I am your host, NPC. Joining me is Bard, Death Knot, Booth, and Captain Jack. We're all here today to kind of break down our brackets that we picked a couple of weeks ago. But before we do that, we got to get into Amp It Up. So we're going to find out what everybody thought this week. What did you notice from this past week? Go, Bard.
Oh, I'm first. Oh, God, this is new. Oh, God. Doug, where are you when I need you, baby? What I noticed from last week is something that is carried on into this week after watching all of the games is that there is only one number one seed left in every tier. And that doesn't matter as much for trans tier because there was always only one and there can only be one. But in Discord and Harmony tier, there are two number one seeds.
Mm-hmm.
There's one on each side. And this week, there's only one. And there can only be one. Yeah, I just thought that was kind of neat.
I love your math part.
Okay, all right.
Really
all right.
outlining it for us.
Death Knot, what do you think? What did you notice this past week?
Personally, I feel like there were like, at least for me, there was like a bunch of upsets in Discord. Like, I mean, throughout the whole bracket, like so far.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I didn't expect the Lions. I know Lions are really good, but I didn't expect them to go all the way to finals. That's freaking awesome for them. Spuds are out and sad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I felt like Lightspeed could have given the Hobbs a little more, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe that's not an upset. Maybe I just like Lightspeed too much.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, Booth, what about you? What did you notice this week?
Well, I noticed a whole bunch of 4-0s. I don't know if you guys paid attention to some of the games that happened. I got to witness one of them.
There.
Yeah, I don't really think I was expecting this much disparity the later we got here into the playoffs. But I think at the same time, at least in my opinion, I think it was still pretty clear the teams that made it that far still deserved to make it that far.
Mm-hmm.
And then the teams that got the 4-0s really deserved to probably win a lot of their matches 4-0s and make it to the finals. So like it wasn't like it was necessarily unexpected, but I had a little more hope that some of us are able to take a couple more maps off some of these big giants.
Yeah. All right. I hear that. All right, Jack, how about you? Close us out here with what you noticed from this week.
Oh man, this last week, I kind of have to go off of what Death Knot and Booth said. It's really been a very oddly decisive week in the semifinals. There were, except for the match that we picked to be the feature match for this last week, every other Harmony and Discord tier match was pretty much a 4-0. Which is not something that you expect. And as Booth led on with, and Death Knot said, the upset of Joey Esports, Doodles, Dirt taking it as far as they did in this season, I'm just a little beside myself. And I think the finals are going to shape up to be something that maybe none of us really could have predicted happening.
Okay. All right, Bard. What do you look forward to this week? What's going to be the game that you're going to watch? What are you going to look forward to this coming week?
Yeah, it's interesting. So looking forward to the games that are happening this week. I'm not excited about any of them. I'm more excited that All-Star voting is wrapping up this Wednesday, and everyone right now in their tiers who are playing, coaching on a team can go into the All-Star voting of their tiers and can submit their votes for who they think deserve to be the All-Stars, and everyone should do that. And I'm excited to see kind of the end of this week, going into next week for us on the podcast, at least, who has won those so that we can make those All-Star teams next week.
All right. Death Knot, what are you looking forward to this coming week?
There is so many cool like finals matches that I didn't expect to like happen. Like Joey and Habs and Lions and Exodus, and I mean I could go on like Jetpack Cats and Flashbacks and freaking Doodles and Modify. There's so much cool stuff like that I didn't think would happen, but I think they're all going to be really good games. So really excited for that.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good matches happening this week. All right, Booth, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, continuing that on, for me, I specifically went with the Lions versus Exodus. It's surprising and not surprising at the same time. I mean, I had Tailwind winning through the PC determined Tailwind would win through the bracket for me. But at the same time, it's not like it's weird to see Exodus make it that far. I mean, they've kind of been some of the favorites this whole season. I double checked on it, and it was funny. The only two teams my predictor had Exodus losing to was Tailwind and the Habaneros. So they would have been put up on the other side of the Indigo bracket. They would have made it this far anyway, but just had to face Tailwind at that part. If not, it would have had them in the finals. So not surprised to see them there. I'm excited to see what the Flying Lions have done. I mean, this has kind of been the Cinderella story of the season of the playoffs besides Dirt. So they're the only ones still going on again. I don't know if it's that Jetpack Cat spirit from last season in Harmony Tier playoffs making the run, just continuing on there with the Lions. But I'm excited to see if they can continue it on.
All right. Speaking of Jetpack Cats, Jack, what do you got? What do you got for us? What are you looking forward to this coming week?
I mean, this week we have to talk about the fact that our first grand finals is on the docket, folks. It is Good Boys versus Tempo, going to be our feature match on Wednesday night. Going to be myself, Gizmo, and Booth all looking at how this turns out. Tempo has had an incredible run this season. I think the loss of God Hand and the surprisingly, even though decisive. Even though it was a 7-map banger, was still a very decisive win for Tempo. If you paid close attention to that match against Pogfish, every map that Tempo took was immediately decided. If it was an escort, if it was an escort map, it was a full hold. If it was control, very rarely did they let go of that objective. They were very decisive. I almost want to say that maybe they were playing with Pogfish just a little bit, like a cat with a mouse, just kind of toying with their food. But Good Boys as well, have been doing an incredible job this season. They have almost kind of that chaotic energy that kind of works for them. And so it's going to be really interesting to see this matchup this coming Wednesday. So be sure to check it out.
Yeah, definitely look forward to that. All right, so give me a spicy hot take or a cold hard truth, Bard.
Yeah, I got a cold hard truth, and I think this one has been coming for a little while over the past few seasons. Just this is for literally everyone. You are not entitled to anything just because you are in Trank or you are on a team in Trank. No one owes you nothing just for being in the league. Tournament.
Oh, no.
Fuck. Sorry, I've been drinking.
I was with you.
Just for being in the tournament,
get him out
just
of
for
here.
being on a team, you are not entitled to jack squat. And the people who think that they are the people who have been the absolute most annoying over the course of the last few seasons. So just please get it through your heads that the admins don't owe you anything. The community doesn't owe you anything. You are here to earn everything that is given to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still don't even deserve it after that.
Probably not. Yeah.
Probably not. We're going to have a participation trophy podcast at the end. Okay, just kidding.
Oh, nice.
All right, speaking of participation trophies, spuds are out. What's your hard truth?
That's it. No, it's
so hard.
I mean, I'm gonna say it, man. It's gonna be doodles and flashbacks for championship match. So I mean,
be like a hot take.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look how hot your team has been.
Have we been?
They just
shots fired. Okay.
Oh man.
Okay.
They just took out Royals. Royals are strong.
I get that. I get that. All right.
All right, maybe it's not a hot take. Maybe that's ice cold. Whatever.
Okay, cold hard truth. Whichever.
Take the take.
It's a lukewarm take. All right, we got it. All right. Okay, Booth. You got a hot take or a cold hard truth?
Yeah, I got a hot take. So the one I went with, I reviewing back through it, it's not too much has to happen for this to go on, but I don't think a single number 1 seeded team will make it to the finals in the Harmony of Discord tier.
Okay.
You can't say about the trans tier because it
takes two teams losing, one in each tier for that to happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. All right, Jack, close us out here. Cold hard truth or a spicy hot take?
Man, I feel like I'm gonna have to warm things up with a spicy hot take, and kind of going off of what Bard had said, we got so much love in this community. Like we've been talking about it. As you know, I do the beat drops, and this week we did all the end of season award winners, and I cannot tell you just like how much love and how much great community that we have. And this is coming from people that just joined our community this season, just talking about how they just feel so connected. And so although you do need to earn your spot in any community that you go into, nothing is given to you. I think that our community should be very proud of the environment that we set and the example that we set for other Overwatch communities. I think it's really great.
If I may, because Thug isn't here and we're still on Spicy Hot Takes, I want to give a shout out to Thug for earlier in the season. He caught a little flack for making a hot take about a certain peppery organization. And he said that their Harmony tier team wouldn't make the playoffs. And he got roasted for that. And he was right. So I just want to give him a shout because he's at home. He's taking care of his kid who's sick this week. So he can't be in here to toot his own horn. But he deserves more recognition for calling that in advance because I didn't even realize that he was right about that until this week.
But I feel like that's debatable because technically they made the wild cards. I'm just saying. Just saying.
If you're a Cowboys fan, you know that wild card games do count as playoffs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Whatever you have to tell yourself to make you feel good about your team.
Okay. But Thug was right. Thug was right in the chat.
Hashtag Thug was right.
All right. All right. Thank you guys so much. All right. So now we're going to go back to the brackets. We all made brackets. This group of people plus Yeti made a bracket. And we're going to go back and we're going to take a look at those brackets and we're going to find out what we did. We're going to start off in Harmony tier. We're going to take a look at Bard's bracket. Bard, I'm looking at your bracket. You're going to go first this time. Your bracket's not looking too good here. It's actually it is looking pretty good.
It's actually looking pretty good.
Your Harmony tier bracket, you've only been wrong on 3 predictions, which puts you at 80% accurate. Your finals match could very well happen, assuming that Modify and Flashbacks win this week. So, what are your thoughts on your bracket? You feel comfortable?
I feel really good about this. The 2 matchups that I got wrong in the semifinals were the 2 matchups that I thought if I was going to get them wrong, those would be the ones, and they were. Those were the ones where I was like, I think it's a coin toss, so I'm going to pick the team that's a higher seed. Which, in hindsight, I'd probably do it again because I don't know much about those 4 teams as much as the others. Doodles versus Royals, though, was an upset that I did not predict, and I don't think any of us outside of Booth's computer genuinely expected to happen. I think most of us watched Royals play throughout the season and expected them to make the top 4, but Doodles, they almost got swept going through the stage 2, and they had a big old turnaround. And all the credit to them for doing that. They've made some huge strides to improve, and I look forward to playing them. I still think my finals will happen, but I think that it's all up in the air with all 4 of these teams.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you did pick the 1 and 2 seed on both sides.
I did indeed.
Yes. as do most of us. So yes, Doodles is definitely an upset because I think most of us picked these top 4 to be in the top 4. So what do you think, Death Knot? You go next. Your bracket actually is the best of the Harmony tier brackets. You only predicted the Royals to win over the Doodles, and you picked that Delta Threat would win over Nocturnal. So you're at 87% accuracy right here. You're in really good shape. So your bracket looks exactly the same as Bard's. So even if it goes a different way, you still are going to come out on top there. How are you feeling about your bracket? You think it's going to stay this way?
Nope, I'm going to be wrong. Doodles are going to ride that victory to the championships. I don't know if they're going to win championships. I think it's probably still going to be Flashbacks, but I think I'm wrong about the Doodle and modified match. Or
I was thinking down to -3 and Bard comes down to -4. All right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, all right, that's a good take. That's a good take. All right, Booth, let's take a look at your computer bracket. Your computer bracket here, it looks like you predicted Jersey Boys, and your computer predicted Delta Threat, but it's also -2. It's basically the same as Death Knots here, except a slightly different outcome. Although yours is more accurate as of right now, but you still predicted that exact same finals matchup, the number 1 seed and the number 2 seed. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is the only one that has the Final Four correct. I do want to give it a little bit of love. I think what's interesting about looking at it is that the two that it picked incorrectly are, so I had to be unbiased because I'm the GM of Nocturnal, obviously, but I know Nocturnal and Phantasmal had very different stage twos and transitions in the last couple of weeks in terms of players leaving, players being added, different levels of scrimming, different metas going through. And I think that was one way of looking how you can't just look at previous games and how they've gone down to judge how victorious a team would be. So I think that's one downside of doing your generated bracket like this. So I thought that was, I think that's interesting, but I think it still might be correct, even though I did just predict flashbacks aren't going to win because I said no number 1 team's going to win in the Harmony tier. I think it could be right. Jetpack Cats were very scary to play against last week. That's all I'm going to say. They were very terrifying to go up against because I thought Nocturnal was playing some of our best Overwatch these past couple of weeks, and it wasn't even close in our match against them. They were crazy.
All right. So that's shaping up to be interesting. You can't go wrong against the computer. I think it's got superior bracket skills.
No, wait till we get the Discord tier.
Jack, so far, yours is you've got a perfect Indigo side. I'll give you that. Yeah, your Arum side is impossible. Your score is affected because you have a -5 already because the Royals cannot possibly participate in the finals or win the finals.
Yep.
So yours is pretty set. The only variable for you is whether the Jetpack Cats participate in the finals or not. Do you think that's possible, or do you think the flashbacks take them out here and you drop to -6?
No, actually, I pretty much kept that side of the bracket exactly the same. The only thing, so I will note that although I did get some teams wrong, my scores were pretty on the nose for most of these matches, which I've never done anything like this before, so I was pretty proud of, just saying. But I feel like Doodles might be bringing the heat this week. I think that Doodles will take over Modify in the Orem finals. Sorry, Bard, just a realization you might have to think about right now. And I think Jetpack Cat still has been on a hot streak. You know, we see it with Flying Lions in the Discord tier, and I think Jetpack Cats also have that same fire to be able to bring it back to a championship. I think they can do it.
Okay, all right. That's a good take. All right. So I'll take a look at my bracket if you want to see it. I'm sitting here at -3, so I've gotten 3 wrong. I predicted Delta Threat over Nocturnal, and then Void and Royals. I just didn't see Doodles coming. I didn't see it coming at all. So overall, I still feel pretty confident in the Jetpack Cats. I feel confident in the Jetpack Cats. I saw what they did to Nocturnal. I've seen what they did to some other teams. I really hope they can take down flashbacks and at least participate in the finals. But I don't know. This is gonna be some real tough games coming up. So I don't know. Now we all get to take a look at Yeti's bracket. He's not here to defend himself. So this is our opportunity.
It needs some defending.
Yeah. So there was actually 5-6 incorrect here because I forgot to put an X over the Pantheon. So Yeti by far the worst bracket. He did, however, predict Doodles over Royals. So definitely not just Booth's computer. Yeti picked it. He also picked Jersey Boys over Modify, but I think that was for personal reasons. I think he just hates the Modify.
He didn't want anyone on Phantasmal or Modify to win anything, so he had to push Jersey Boys through.
Yeah. I get that. But we do see Doodles in the finals. So if the Doodles win this week, Yeti stays at -6. But if they lose here to Modify, he drops down to -7. That's
hey, Yeti's with us. That's my bracket.
That's really rough. That's the worst bracket in Harmony tier, folks. Okay, let's jump over to Discord.
Yeti, it's not about whether or not you predicted them correctly. It's about whether or not you had fun. And I think looking at this, you were smoking something and you had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of with some of that Montucky cold snacks or something, or the peanut butter stout or whatever he's drinking.
Ooh. I think mine was the least upset, actually. I in theory, I'm really happy that in theory, all of my finals can work up until trans tier, which still only has 2 wrong so far. So I'm really proud of this, and I thought that this would be the finals, and with the teams that have gone through, I still think this is going to be the finals. Like, I love the Flying Lions, and Joey Esports have come out of like all of our nightmares, I guess, because we've been sleeping on them to upset all our brackets. But I still think it's these 2 teams, and I'm, as much as we don't think there's going to be any number 1 seeds, I don't see Habaneros losing this unless Exodus pull off that like full miracle run that they also did last season. We know that they can do it. We know that they have done it. But I'm going to stick with who I have winning it all, honestly. I'm not doubting him. I'm just assuming he will feed. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just sadness. Like just sadness everywhere. It's awful. I mean, I don't know, man. You know what? I believe in the Hobbs. It's always been a tough team. It was a tough team for Spuds when we scrimmed them. They've got some freaking cracked players, and I think they've got a lot of synergy. And like the way Exodus kind of struggled with Battalion, even though they were, Battalion was under some weird circumstances. I think it's gonna be a Hobbs Exodus championship, and I think Hobbs are taking it. So
Okay, all right, I get that.
I'd like it on record that Death Not just agreed with me.
Well, that's too bad. That's just more sadness.
You hate to see it, more sadness.
all of it, your bracket has brought is pain.
You just can't escape the sadness.
Okay, Booth. Looks like your computer bracket was also extremely wrong. Also a -8 at 47% accuracy. What do you think happened here? Was it just that stage 1 was offset, or what do you think happened to the computer here?
Yeah, I think stage 1. I mean, if I had to make any of the changes personally on this, I wouldn't have picked Joey Esports to. I wouldn't predict Prodigious to make it that far. I would have had them losing to Joey, but I would have had Spuds beating Joey and making it to the RM finals if I was picking it personally. So that would have been just 1 game back, basically. It's a tough one. I mean, it really liked Tailwind. They had such a great map win record this season across all the modes. I mean, they didn't lose a lot of games, so that definitely affects things when it gets towards the end. I still, as well as Flying Lions have done, it's not crazy for me to still think that Tempest would have been there if that game would have ended differently. I think they could have had the best of either Praxis or Barbados. And so really besides that, I think it was doing a pretty good job of things. I think it just really was looking at that stage 1 aggressively. One of the difficult parts about this that I didn't mention the first time is that I stopped inputting 4Os into the system because I didn't want it to heavily affect some of the trans tier teams that ended up having bye weeks basically in the playoffs or in the second stage in their Swiss round. So stage 2 had a lot more 4Os because of forfeits than stage 1 did. So it might have saw that and thought that stage 1 was then somehow more important than the stage 2 games. But I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. I can see that. Let's go on to Jack here. All right, Jack, we'll take a look at your bracket. It's not bad.
No,
We're at -4, 73% accuracy.
Yeah.
The only thing you got wrong here was you bet against the Lions, and you lost.
So here's the thing. All right. I was not told that this was going to be like a serious thing. All right. And I'm a firm believer in the fact that Sharknado is indeed a documentary, and I just wanted to see it. I wanted to make Sharknado 6 here in tranquility. I just wanted to make it happen. And unfortunately, we will not get to see that. But I have always truly believe. Don't you say that, Cinnamon? I love you. I love you all so much. A Sharknado is a once in a lifetime kind of thing, unless you were born during the film era where they all came out. So it's interesting, to say the least. I think the one that surprised me the most was Joey Esports bringing it. That was not something I really expected, but right now, based on what I have, everything else is relatively accurate. And I think if Flying Lions have done enough to not only upset the second but third seed as well, hashtag fly on. They're going for it. They're going to take it all the way. I really think that Exodus need to be watching their backs. I mean, they might be a shark, but can they jump out of the water high enough to get a flying lion? I'm not for certain. And they can just blow the Heckin' Habs away. So I want to see that Heckin' Habs Flying Lions matchup in the finals. That's what I want.
That would be a very, very interesting finals indeed. All right, so I also was not taking this seriously. Let's take a look at my bracket. So here we are. Yeah, this
I wasn't taking it seriously, he says, as he predicted the 2 number 1 seed teams.
Okay, so let me yeah, number 1 seed seeds. So when I looked at this bracket, really I just kind of picked the number 1 and number 2 seeds to go all the way through, with the exception of Prodigious, because I wanted to give them some encouragement for sticking through it to the end, and I'm still proud of those guys for sticking it through and rebuilding when so many other teams decided just to quit. So I wanted to pick for them. But definitely probably would have picked Joey Esports in that round too, had I actually taken this seriously. But I didn't, and yeah, that's okay. So yeah, 47%. So speaking of the worst bracket of all brackets, let's take a look at Yeti's bracket.
Oh God, Yeti.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeti, before we say anything, we all really love and appreciate Yeti and all that he does.
Yes.
And think that he is a terrific person. But anyway, this bracket is terrible.
Yeah. F's in the chat for this bracket.
All of the finals that Yeti predicted are non-existent.
Nothing that he has predicted can happen.
Big F's in the chat, folks. Ooh.
Hey, he got Flying Lines over Tempest though.
That's true.
That is true. That is true. Now,
did he pick exclusively upset? No, he picked Barbados beating Flying Lions. I think that is the only, and Spuds. Those are the only 2 non-upsets.
No, Battalion over Exodus technically isn't an upset. Isn't an upset.
No, Battalion is. Oh, that's not an upset. You're right.
Yeah, it was not an upset. Yeah, no.
Spuds over Joey.
Those are the 2 I said.
His bracket is set in stone. His finals cannot possibly happen. A -9, 40% accuracy is like it's the worst his bracket can possibly get. Now it can be matched by Booth and myself if the Habaneros end up losing in the finals. So when you go take a look at my bracket, if Joey Esports managed to take out the Habaneros, I will also be -1 point. And Booth will also be -1 point because both our champions and our finals have not been predicted. So we could possibly tie. Since I'm involved in this, Bard, do you think that's a possibility? Do you think that's a possibility that the Habaneros don't make the finals? And
see, the thing is, if they don't, I think I still have the best bracket in Discord tier. So at this point, I don't think I can drop to the worst bracket, and I'm okay with anything. Okay. I'm not going to try and fully predict Discord tier because every time any of us have tried to do that this season, it's just gone horribly wrong.
Yep.
Discord tier is unpredictable. Best ways. So it's for me, it's just I've locked it in at the best bracket and I'm done.
Okay. All right. I can see that. All right. What do you think? Do you think that the Habaneros are not going to make it and that'll put Booth and my bracket just as bad as Yetis, or do you think the Habaneros are just going to do it?
Dude, Hobbs are in there. And in fact, so I don't have to agree with Bard. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Hobbs Lions. Because
there we go.
Because you know what Lions prey on is weakness, and when Exodus showed weakness against Battalion early on, Lions are gonna Lions are gonna be in
It's
championship.
just basic science. It's just basic science.
Yep.
I get that. I get that.
It's just nature, man. You know.
All right, Jack. You're the last one to weigh in on this one. What do you think?
Oh, man, Joey trying to take out Hobbs to get to the finals. I mean, that's going to be a big undertaking, but they also took down number 2 seed. So, man, I feel like it's possible, but if anything, it's going to be a barn burner because Hobbs ain't going to take it lying down. They are going to fight tooth and nail. We're going to see a map 7 and beyond in the Orem finals, and one of them are going to come out swinging.
I agree. I don't think we've seen Habanero's final form just yet. So
no, not yet.
No.
All right, let's jump down to Transcendence tier.
Sorry, I was trying to get into my final form.
Getting the anime noises.
Yeah.
All right, here's our Transcendence tier
for like
brackets.
5 minutes.
Bard, you're kind of dead in the water here, but it's actually a pretty good bracket at only 3 missed predictions.
I had a perfect bracket until this week. I'm not gonna lie. I picked Pogfish over Tempo because I liked the storyline of the Pogfish revenge tour. And that just didn't happen. I regret not picking Tempo because I do think right now they are the best team in Transcendence tier.
They had the number 1 seed.
They're only the best team in Transcendence tier though, because the people's champion and everyone's favorite team in Transcendence tier, Dirt, have been knocked out by the team who is just now only going to be known as the team who knocked Dirt out of the running. So I think at this rate, I have to pick Tempo to avenge Dirt. So I'm gonna have Tempo winning in the finals, purely to get vengeance for, again, the people's champions and everyone's favorite team in Transcendence tier, Dirt. And I'm sorry if you were trying to say that they're not your favorite team in Transcendence tier. It's an immutable fact now that they are your favorite team.
You heard it first, Tempo. Hashtag do it for Dirt.
Do it for Dirt. Oh, that's a good hashtag.
That is a good hashtag. I like it. All right, Death Knot.
I like Dirt.
Death Knot. Your bracket's not quite as good. You got 4 wrong. You bet heavily on Requiem there. So there's this band called Queensryche.
Oh, nice.
We've done that joke many times.
Here we go again.
But you also bet on Pogfish here. What do you think happened here to Requiem and Pogfish?
Dude, I don't know what to believe. I mean, Pogfish. Why? It's Pogfish. It's Pogfish, dude. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. Pogfish lost. That's where I left. Like, you lost me after that. I don't know. I mean, I guess I have to say something. So Tempo, because they beat Pogfish.
Okay. All right. Good change. Good change. I like that. All right, Booth. The computer was also very accurate this time. We've got -2. Bet heavily on Requiem. I think maybe what happened here? What made the computer not quite perfect?
Well, Requiem had some changes, I'm pretty sure, with their roster getting into the playoffs, so might be due to that there at the end. But Requiem Good Boys was already going to be a pretty close game in my opinion anyway, so still deserving to make it here to the finals. Surprising that and obviously we didn't. It's really hard when it's basing off of records to let those Cinderella teams like Dirt get the win over Requiem. So like that one's pretty understandable. But maybe it would have been if they wouldn't have had some of the players leave. That maybe would have been the case for them. Still excited to see that Tempo still going through. I mean, like on my sheet, they're still listed as some of the best teams in the whole Tranquility community based off their map point rates. So I'm still 6 strong with them coming out as champion. But out of all the ones, this is the one I'm kind of proudest on because by far last season, if I remember, it had Havoc second chance, but all the other games it basically predicted wrong besides that one for Transcendence tier last season. Like it had no clue what it was talking about. But this one, it did pretty good. It got all the wild card and quarterfinals right. So,
Yeah,
I'm
the
happy for it.
machines are getting smarter, and I would like to be the first to welcome our new robot overlords.
Season 18 Commissioner Booth's PC.
Yes. Speaking of robot overlords, Jack,
Oof.
your bracket
I-
here. You had
took a hard hit.
Otaku. You
Yeah.
you bet heavily on the anime, and
I did.
also Requiem.
I'm a weeb like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, as Booth said, I learned about this during the beat drops this last week. Requiem took a hard hit, lost their main tank before they faced off against Dirt. Not to say that Dirt isn't good. Obviously, they made it into the playoffs anyway. But losing such an integral position of your team so early in the playoffs makes it really hard to come back from. So, and then I loved Otaku. As you know, if you've been following the podcast at all this season, I do everything to spite Thug. That's my job here. And congrats to Pogfish for making it as far as they did. But first and second seed, it's gonna be rough. Good Boys have a rough run ahead of them. If you look at a majority of the matches that Good Boys have faced this season, they don't really equal up with what Tempo has faced this season. So if Good Boys are going to take it home, I hope they don't underestimate Tempo. That's all I've really got to say. Because, oh man, Tempo's just something else. Honestly, if Godhand were still here, I feel like Tempo would have taken them out too, and that's saying something.
I think they'd be opposite sides of the bracket. Actually,
Yeah.
when the math works out.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we would have been seeing in the finals, and I think Tempo would have had a really great shot at taking them out. And that's just based on looking at who they have faced this season. I think Good Boys might have had it a little bit easier than some other teams, but Tempo has really fought their way here. We got Pogfish, we got Otaku. They fought Godhand in stage 1 and put up a really good fight. I think Good Boys better be ready to duke it out this week.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. We'll take a look at my bracket. This is not good. I got Good Boys. I just don't have Pogfish. Also, just as accurate as Booth's bracket, although I'm at -2. So not bad. I mean, this is the best bracket. It's big. So if Good Boys manage to pull off the win, then Booth's bracket will drop to -3, and I will have the best bracket in all of Transcendence here. But speaking of best brackets, let's take a look at Yeti's bracket.
Oh boy!
Couldn't even say with a straight
So,
face.
the opposite of
I
what you're
tried.
trying to say.
I tried.
Well,
It's not
Okay.
that bad.
It's
I
not
just
that
want to
bad.
say,
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I just want to say,
That's about as bad as my bracket.
cojones on
Yeah.
Yeti to pick Twilight Foxes over Tempo. Not that it was because
You
it
know,
wasn't.
I think it's the Cinderella story. You want to see that
Oh,
ninth seed
yeah.
come in there, and
No.
I mean,
Yeah,
Dirt.
Yeti's about that, man. He's about those comebacks.
Did anybody pick a wild card game wrong out of all of us?
Wild cards had been finished by the time.
yeah, I think we all
Yeah.
picked the wild cards. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, okay, yeah, with the wild
That's
card.
why we
winner,
knew.
but
That's why we
okay.
knew Dirt was there.
Oh, that's right. This was a week behind compared to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
Harmony and Discord.
Dang, I thought I just thought of something really big brain. Oh.
Okay, all right, not bad. So we'll take a look at this. Looks like Bard has gone to Rainbow Vomit again, but he'll come back. There he is. Okay. So now we get into the prediction section. So now we get to predict all of our winners. So I'm gonna make a poll in the chat here. I'm gonna find out what our people think of Tempo and Good Boys. While you guys discuss, Bard, start us off. Doodles versus Modify. What are your thoughts going into this match? I want to hear your thoughts, and Doodles wants to hear your thoughts.
Wait, our poll is Tempo versus Good Boys.
Yes. The audience is going to vote on those, but I want you to talk about Doodles and Modify.
Oh, you
while
while
they're voting.
my game. Okay.
Yes. While they're voting, while they're deciding what the poll is going to be.
So before I get started, once again, Doug isn't here. He's dealing with his sick kid. One second, let me just get rid of the pixels. Cool.
Mhm.
And I just want to say, in Thug's honor, Pogfish.
What?
Sorry, I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, get that out of the way. Even though that's like later.
You
It's the last
really
week we can
should have
get
said
it.
something like a little
The last
sadder. It
week
should have.
we can say Pogfish, and Thug isn't here, so I think I just
Yeah.
had to say it for him. It's interesting with Doodles. I'm on one of these two teams, and as we know, unbiased Bard is dead. And I have scores for every single match. And for this match, I have a 4-2 written down. And I think I'm going to surprise everyone here because I've actually picked Modify to win it.
Whoa, shocker!
Yeah, I think
Wow.
Doodles are really good, and they get bonus points because they made us tie with them the last time we played them, so it was only 3-0-1. But they have yet to win a map off of us, and I am pretty sure that they beat Royals on both an off week and on a Royals that was struggling with a new main tank. So I'm not.
Oh.
I am worried about them, and I'm taking them seriously as a player and a coach on Modify. But I think that the smart prediction is Modify wins. Whether or not that happens, I just think that realistically, that's the smarter prediction.
Okay, all right, Death Knot. What do you think? Doodles versus Modify.
I think, honestly, I wanted to say this wouldn't be like that close, but I think it will be close. I think it'll be like, and I think it'll be a long game too. I'm not exactly sure on the score, but I think it's going to be, hell, it could be up to the very end. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to go and say that. I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to say it's going to go, maybe not 10 maps, but it's going to go almost all the way. And Modify are going to have, or not Modify. What am I talking about? Doodles are going to have the stamina to get all the way through. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, you think Doodles have the staying power? All right.
I think they're going to ride on that, that huge win on Royals. And I think they're going to come out real hot. I think it's going to die down a little bit. They're going to get a second win, and then they're going to come back.
Okay, I do indeed want a map 10. Booth, do you think Doodles versus Modify is going to be a map 10?
I don't think we're going to see any map 10s. I don't think that's terribly hot of a take to take, but that's a challenge for me to everybody playing. Look at me right here. Give me a map 10. I want it. Somebody do it.
I want it too. We all want it.
NBC wants it as well. I think all of us want it. Somebody, please. But no, I don't know if that one's going to be our map 10. I've got to modify on this one 4-1. Although I'm proud to be on the Doodle hype train, and I'm proud that I was able to pick them to get them this far. I do think that Modify definitely favors in that matchup. I think they're still one of the best teams for a reason. They've done well this season, and I think they're going to continue it on. But I've been wrong before.
Okay,
It's very clear I've been wrong before.
Booth, no, never,
never. So, Jack, what do you think? You up to cast a map 10, Doodles versus Modify?
Oh man, I really hope not. the last one we had was almost killed me, I swear. But see, I didn't know that about Royals, that they were dealing with a new main tank as well. And we're taking in this information as it goes. And initially I had Doodles taking it, still a barn burner match, 4-3, but if Doodles won kind of on a technicality that Royals were not at their peak,
Right.
I hate to do it, because I know that it's going to boost Bard's ego a little bit, but
No ego left.
I'm going to have to say Doodles 4-2 this time instead of 4-3. I think they're just going to go in and completely shut down Modify, that they won't be able to get that third map off them.
Ouch.
Maybe.
Ouch. All right. So it looks like our poll is coming to a close. It looks like at the 36-8 tempo over Good Boys. Chamanzi
Jesus,
donated
Chamanzi.
190 bits. So thank you so much, Chamanzi.
So,
for those bits
let's
to
math
put
that.
Tempo
So it's
over the edge.
so 10 points per vote.
19.
That's
19
19 votes.
It still would have mean Tempo would win. It really would.
Yeah.
Still one.
Yeah.
And or maybe he put them all on Good Boys, and was
Yeah, and
the only person that voted for Good Boys.
Oh god.
That would have been bad because I'm pretty sure there's some good boys in the chat.
He could have been 8 of the good boys and 8 of the tempos.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
really
yeah.
late.
11 of the tempos ones.
Okay.
Goodness.
All right. Okay. So we'll predict that one last. I want to predict that one last. Let's keep
All
going
right.
here. Let's go flashbacks versus Jetpack Cats. That's the other semifinals on the Indigo side. Bard, what do you think about this one? Flashbacks and Jetpack Cats.
Well, I've kind of given away my answer when we talked about my bracket, saying that I still think that those finals are going to go. But I think that I had this one last on my list. I was hoping we'd cover it last because it was like my dramatic bomb drop of the score that I think it'll be.
Is it a draw?
There are a lot of drops. Yes,
Of course.
Dramatic bomb drop. It's a draw.
I think that this one will be 4-3 to 3.
Oh,
I
God.
think this is the map 10. I think these of the teams that are left that are playing this week, I think these are the 2 closest teams. Probably. There are a few teams where I could look at them and think that they'll have a couple ties as well, which you'll see later. So I think this one goes to map 10 with flashbacks winning. But my God, anything could happen in this game. It could be 4-0 to either team if one of them doesn't show up. So I have 4-3.
Good analysis.
If someone doesn't show up, then it's just the 4-0.
Who knows?
Yeah.
what
Easy day.
okay. Bard's prediction is literally anything can happen.
Yeah,
Death Knot,
basically.
what do you think? What's your thoughts?
Regardless of what does happen.
So honestly, I think the Cats are good. The organization's been good. Look at what the Lions have done too. But I feel like flashbacks are like a reality check team, and I think they were like that last season too. So I think it's 4-2. I think Cats get a little momentum here and there, but I don't think they can hold on to it. I think flashbacks are just I think they're too good.
Okay. All right. I can see that. Booth, what about you?
Oh, I've been bouncing back and forth off what I have written down on this one because this is although I said I'm most excited to see the Lions Exodus game, this was very close number 2 for me. These 2 teams I've been wanting to see face each other all season. I'm excited to get to see it this far into the playoffs as well. Like, luckily this wasn't like we get spoiled in stage 2, or if one of the teams didn't have a good stage 2, we didn't see it in the beginning of the playoffs. So I'm happy it's going on here. I'm going to give it 4-3 to the Jetpack Cats. But I think that 4-3 could switch over to flashbacks just as easily. I think they're the 2 highest. I think they're the 2 best teams in the Harmony tier on Indigo 1.
So you
Nothing
haven't
to do
had
with
any
their
draws?
modify.
How many draws with the 4-3?
Draws just don't happen all that often. I'm sorry. I know
Every match. We just don't
Well, it's
report
all
it.
about the draws.
we don't report it. Okay. I don't think. I think this is just going to be a map 7, and maybe it goes to map 8. I mean, everyone hates Assault. At least it could seem.
I love 2CP. Don't talk about my 2CP.
Okay, my 2CP has the prettiest maps. I can at least agree with that.
I like playing
Paris is
2CP.
beautiful. I love Volskaya. It's one of my favorite maps. But most people don't really like 2CP. Okay. Anyway, whenever I get that in a competitive game, I always feel like, oh, yay, I can't wait to play 20 minutes of this in a scrim and have no idea which one of us would have won. Or I get in the comp game and I'm like, oh, yay, I can't wait to waste 30 minutes until we both can draw in a 4-4 game. So that's just what 2CP is.
Yep.
But I don't know. I guess I've gone off topic, but I think 4-3 Jetpack Cats. But I could see that 4-3 going to the flashbacks as well. I think it might be the best game next week, and I'm very excited to see that one.
Okay, well, when this podcast is over, we're going to sit around and discuss the merits of 2CP and tell Booth how
Yes.
wrong he is. All right, Jack. Jack, what do you think?
Mm,
Fly on, do
mm.
not the cat, or will the flashbacks come back and take it? Anything could happen, according to Bard.
That is true. That is true. And I already made the mistake once this season to doubt the cat. So not only will I support Do Not the Cat, but I'll support it in a 4-0 style.
Woo!
I get a flashback.
That's
I think
spicier
it's
than the
gonna-
10 map
Wow.
I
prediction.
think it's going to be a shutout because if you look at these
Whoa.
two teams, they have been decisive victories, each one of them. They're the only teams that have gone 4-0 against each of their quarterfinal and semifinal matches. So don't let me down, JPC.
All
Yeah,
right.
but Modify had a draw, so
That's both.
as did Doodles.
Modify.
Again.
Draws don't count. We
Again.
don't report them.
Again.
True, we don't.
Okay. Speaking of not reporting, Bard, what do you think about the Habaneros
Was
and
that
Joey
report Bard?
Esports? Everybody report Bard.
Yeah.
Habaneros versus Joey Esports.
Hashtag report Bard.
Yeah, I saw Bard vent actually. I think we should.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
we
sus.
should vote him off.
Get him out of here.
So this is one that I looked at and I thought, okay, these are two really good teams. Again, I've already kind of given away who I think is going to win this, but I'll talk about the map score because I think that's going to be really interesting. I thought these were really two really good teams, really solid, and if anyone's going to put up a serious fight against the Habaneros pre-finals out of everyone on their side of the bracket, I think it would be Joey Esports. And so I think we're going to 7 maps. And the breakdown of these maps is that Habaneros are going to have 4, obviously, because they win. But there's going to be 2 draws and 1 map win for Joey Esports. Mainly because I really just want to see draws.
What?
Because they're fun and interesting, and I like that we don't report them.
It means that we get to see
you're
more
so-
Overwatch.
Like draws?
I'm all
What?
for it. That's why I like.
There's only also spoilers. There's only 1 matchup that I haven't predicted draws for, and we've already
You're so
done
weird,
it.
man.
So
Okay, so Bard's
weird.
predicting a draw from now on. Death Knot, what do you
Oh my
think? Do you
goodness.
think there'll be a draw? Habaneros versus
Oh
Joey
my
Esports?
goodness.
Yeah, nobody wins. The whole thing's a draw.
Okay, perfect. They just shake hands. Good game. No
Yeah.
scores. Okay.
Yeah.
Participation trophies ever. No. So the thing about Habaneros is they're a real stacked team, but I don't think they have like the real, like they're just so solid. They don't have a whole lot of flashy stuff going, but it's really hard to like figure them out and break them apart. And I honestly, I don't think any team in this entire bracket could do it, to be honest with you. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and say they're going the entire way. Yeah, they're gonna beat Joey, and I think they just don't stop. So
Okay, they just roll over them 4-0 for
score, I don't know, 4. I don't think it's a 4-0 because I think Joey really
a 4-1 with 2 draws then.
Yeah, no draws. 4-1. I think Joey really showed what they had against us, against Spuds, even though it was a close game. And I think the fact that it was a close game, it just means that they can't handle Hobbs. I don't think they can.
All right, Booth, on to you. What do you think? Habaneros, Joey Esports.
I got Habaneros. But okay, so here you go, Bard. This is for you. I did predict 4-2 here, but I predicted 4-2 on a map 7. So 1 draw. 4-2-1, just 1. I think this is going to be one of the hardest games for Habs so far. I mean, they've definitely played some tough teams, but I think this is going to be their biggest challenge yet, at least here in the playoffs. Joey have been on pretty incredible run. I mean, is it 6 games in a row they've won, I think? All of stage 2 undefeated, and then 2 games so far. So 5 games in a row they've won. It's a pretty impressive record in the Discord tier where there seems to be just all bedlam happening. So it's tough to see him going down there, but I still think Hobbs got the number.
Okay, all right. Joey Esports on an incredible run. Does it end here? What do you think, Cap and Jack?
All right, I channel the chaotic energies of Bard and I amplify them into the universe. I feel that not only will the Hobbs win, it will be a long match, but they will get one tie. And I will tell you exactly how that tie happened.
okay.
It will be on the map Hanamura, and it will be a 4-4. And the final point that does not end up happening will be decided by a Torb 1v1. And both times, both Torbs will knock each other out.
What is
Boom. Boom.
Wow.
All right, so I am no longer interested in that. You lost me. You had me right until the end, and then you said Torb 1v1 to decide it, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're right up until that. It's actually going to be a Reinhardt charge race across the map that's going to decide it. It's not going to be a Torb 1v1.
Wait, did somebody say Torb?
Okay.
Somebody say Torb 1v1?
Yes, I said Torb
okay.
1v1.
Do you know anybody that's good at this?
I don't it's like on the top of my head, but I don't know.
Does the team needed some coaching? Could they reach out for Torb 1v1s over PM?
I'm sure they could find somebody.
I think that's what habaneros are scrimming right now is 1v1s with Torb.
Totally.
Torb 1v1s.
Okay, so the other match we have to predict before we get to the grand finals here is Exodus and Flying Lions. That's going to be a very big game, I think. Maybe the biggest of the ones we've seen so far. What do you think, Bard? Exodus, Flying Lions?
So Cinnamon has said in chat that Flying Lions are map 7 warlords. And I agree that they're map 7 warlords. And I think that if this goes to 7 maps, Flying Lions will be the winners. Unfortunately for them, this is going to go to 9 maps.
Oh my god.
Surprise!
And Exodus are going to win 4-3 with 2 ties. I have actually done the math on all of these to make sure that these ties can happen with the score lines that I have, because there are certain score lines where it's impossible for them to happen with the amount with more ties than wins for one team. So I've been very careful to make sure that these all theoretically can happen, and they all can. So
it won't, but it's good to know
they definitely are going to happen as well. I think it's 4-3 with 2 ties, and those 2 ties, I'm not going to predict them. That's it. I've been wrong every time.
All that suspense. All that
Pretty good freeze.
What?
I thought you'd.
I've been wrong every time, so I'm not predicting the maps.
Okay, speaking of suspense, Death Knot, what do you think? You got the Sharks or you got the Lions?
Yeah, so earlier I was confused and I said, Sharks for some reason, and they are definitely Sharks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes, 100%.
But you know what? It's Lions, man. What's going on, dude? Let's go. It's Lions. It's Lions. Is it close? I think it's kind of close. Maybe no.
9 map close?
No.
Okay.
No.
I've lost interest.
4-2 Lions, yeah. I think Exodus just like falls apart at one point. They're just like, what is going on? This lion in my face, it can fly. What am I gonna do? I just realized I'm a shark. I don't know who I am anymore.
I just realized I've been a shark this whole time.
Yeah, this whole time I've been a shark.
After 3 months,
and nobody told me.
Yeah, Cryptic is going to have an actual like midlife crisis in the middle of that game.
Oh my god!
Which is really unfortunate because he's like 19, so if that's the middle of his life, it's really sad. But he's gonna have a midlife crisis in the middle of the game.
Quarter life crisis.
It is a shark.
Life crisis.
Yeah, self-realization. All right, Booth. What do you think? You think? What do you think about the match of surf and turf? We got the Lions and we got the.
Okay, so before I get into this one, I have to explain my bias a little bit. So here, I'm gonna move my camera and show. So here are 2 little flying lions asleep next to me. So you can see.
Okay.
All right, Booth has won the podcast.
So with that,
Bye.
I'm going to give the flying lions at least 2 map wins. They lose 4-2 to X's.
Whoa.
Oh god, that's
Okay.
two realistic.
Oh, the
predictions in a
debate.
row,
Oh
guys.
my gosh.
There's two cats, so they get two
Ouch.
maps. But
All right.
no,
Ouch.
I think Exodus. I think Exodus got their number. They're a crazy
Booth
strong team.
prediction by M. Night Shyamalan. Jack. All right. We know.
Wow.
I think I know what you're thinking. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I'm thinking what you're thinking. You know, the first time I predicted, I the catted. I did. But folks, you do not the cat. And I believe the thing that is probably allowing Flying Lions to do this is that map 7 overlord streak that they've been going on since the quarterfinals. So it is written, so it shall be 4-2-3, no ties for the Flying Lions.
Okay. 4-3, map
All right.
7, Flying Lions. All right,
Yeah,
I like that. We've predicted everything except for the Good Boys tempo match. I put a poll in the chat for is it a shark, and it's unanimous. Yes, and there's only one vote for
We've
no,
got
and
one
it's
vote,
Cryptic
and that
Force, and it
is-
doesn't count.
It's been determined that is Cryptic Force.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, it is
so
Cryptic Force.
you
It
can
is
write that
indeed
off.
Cryptic Force. So we know.
This is where that quarter life crisis starts coming in. Like,
Yeah.
whoa,
yeah.
man, really? Everybody believes it's a shark.
Oh well, yeah, it's totally a shark. Even their own Twitter confirms it's a shark. Go check it out.
Oh man.
All right. So now we get to
Wow.
the main event. We're gonna get to the main event. Good
All right.
Boys versus Tempo Wednesday on this Twitch channel right here at 8:30 Wednesday. I'm so excited to see it. Good Boys and Tempo. What do you think, Bard?
Yeah, so I think this one will be a barn burner. We're gonna see quite a few maps. In fact, the exact number of maps that we're gonna see is 8.
Oh God.
Booth
Oh,
is just
boy.
you're all just
Start
so
brewing the
dumb.
tea. I'll start
Well,
brewing.
dude.
Well, seeing that I have to
So,
cast that, map,
I'm gonna
yeah, I'm a
run you
little
through
done.
how this is gonna go, right? Because I've done the math on what maps can tie. So first map is gonna be control. It's gonna be a map. I don't know, probably Li
Good.
Zhang. That's the one people like.
Yeah. Good
Tempo,
work,
we're
Bard.
gonna win it.
Good.
It's gonna be 2-1. We'll be really close. Next map, we're going to go to control. Not gonna guess because they all suck. So someone will pick one of them, and that'll be the end of it. But that one's gonna be a tie. So it's gonna be 1-0-1. Then we're gonna move on to hybrid. Obviously, it's gonna be King's Row because it's King's Row. Which is also going to be a tie. So now it's 1-0-2. But then we're going to go on to Escort. And Escort's going to be really interesting because Escort, I think, is going to be Havana, and Good Boys are going to win it. So it'll be 1-1-2. And then, let me do a wipe.
Windshield wiper.
There we go. And then
How?
we're going to
That
go
is
on to
magic.
Escort. Again. No, we're going to go on to hybrid again, I think. Is
No,
it control?
control,
and then hybrid?
control.
Okay, we're gonna go to control again. Tempo, we're gonna win it, and then it's gonna be 2-1-2. But then we're gonna go on to hybrid again.
Yep.
Yeah, and then that's also going to be a tie this time on Eichenwald, and it's gonna be no points tapped for either team. So now we're at 2-1-3, and then we go Escort and control again, and those are both gonna go the way of Tempo. So it's gonna be 4-1-3. Broken them down. I'm not going to predict the maps the last two, but it's those two. It's 4-1-3.
Okay.
If any of that is remotely correct, I am going to buy a lottery ticket.
Okay. All right. Bard.
All right, somebody take
confirmed-
away the wine from Bard.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is-
Bard,
this is
Bard, put the
getting
cup
a
away.
little.
Why is all the rum
insane.
gone?
Death Knot has obviously lost it. Just done with Bard shenanigans.
Is he done?
You with
Yeah,
us?
he's
yeah.
done.
Yeah,
It's
it's over.
over.
You can wake up from your nap now.
No
great.
shelter in place anymore. It's okay.
That was nice though. Thanks for the
The thing is,
intermission there.
I like the draw. It makes exciting games, but it makes really boring predictions. I gotta say, Death
I
Knot.
think it makes for great.
What are you
prediction.
thinking? Good Boys Tempo Wednesday night right here. Twitch.tv/OW Tranquility.
You know what? Yeah, this one's gonna be close. One tie. I'll give it to you, Bard. There's gonna be one, and
I'll take it.
but that's it. It's gonna be 4-3. It's gonna be a tie in there. I'm not gonna talk for like 45 minutes. That's it.
All right,
Paddington
short
time.
and
We're on a
sweet.
short
I like
podcast.
it. Booth, what do you think? How many draws will there be in this game?
0.
Nice.
Aw.
4-2. I have it in tempo in a very spooky match.
It's gonna be very spooky.
It's gonna be very spooky. This is I do real quickly want to throw out to we haven't had any other features picked up during the week yet. At the moment, this is our only planned feature match. But what I'm thinking about doing is Thursday night this week, taking replay codes from some of the GMs and some games that were pretty close, and then broadcasting those. I mean, the scores will be known, obviously. But unless another team takes up a spot at the moment, that's possibly our plan. But this might be our only feature for next week. It's kind of still up in the air at the moment. But if team GMs are watching, please reach out to me if you still think you can move your match around. We definitely want to try to get more than just one featured on the channel this week. But if not, I might be reaching out to some of you to get some replay codes.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go on to Jack, Flying Lions, Exodus. I want to see it. I want to see it live. That's the one we want to see.
I'd be down for that.
You guys need to schedule it like Tuesday, tomorrow, Thursday, something like that. Friday, even Sunday. I'll get up Sunday, watch a game.
We can do Saturdays and Sundays now because Overwatch League is finished for the season.
Yeah,
so
I want to see that one. I want to see that one. All right. All right. Jack, what do you think? Good Boys versus Tempo. Wednesday night. Spooky match.
All right.
Some trick-or-treaters.
So here's my prediction. You know, gotta start long, gotta end long, right? So here we go. First map, Lijiang Tower. Tempo takes it 2-0. That's been pretty standard for them. So I'll go ahead and give them that one. And then we move on to our 2CP, which is going to be Volskaya Industries because it usually is. And Good Boys will turn it around. We'll end up taking that 2-1. So it'll be tied 1-1 going into the hybrid map.
Tied, you say?
Huh?
Tied, you say?
Well, 1-1. They'll both have won a map there, Bard. Don't get ahead of yourself. All right. And then we head into Eichenwald, not Kings Row, because we saved the best for last, folks. So Eichenwald will be a battle of the boopers. Because what they're going to do is they're both going to take objective number 1, and then objective 2 will be decided by a Lucio 1v1 on the bridge.
All these 1v1s, dude.
To determine who is going to get to that gate. That's how it will be decided. It will be kind of like a Gandalf, you shall not pass until the 1v1 happens. So whoever gets the boop gets to go on, or the point gets sold.
So we have an event week like in between.
Yes, it's going to be great.
Okay.
It's good. We're just pulling out all the stops this week.
Sick.
And then,
real quick to jump in here for real quick on Jack. If any team does a 1v1 Lucio in the middle of their match, I will feature your match on Thursday.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to cast that one.
Will be.
I guess it's going to happen.
That will be cast.
There we go. See? There we go. That will be a match that is picked. So that will end in a tie because both Lucios will be just so amazingly good that nobody will be able to get past that point, and they will be locked out. So now we're going into halftime 1-1-1. So make it very nice for everybody.
I'm on board again.
And then Tempo sweeps after the half, 4-1. 4-1-1, I guess.
4-1-1.
Okay,
well, you had a draw, so I'm on
that
board.
escalated quickly.
But yeah, we took the longest route to possibly get there. Cap and Jack's predictions are at least entertaining because they contain 1v1s.
Yeah.
A nice gentleman's agreement on the second point. So that brings us to the end of our predictions. So we've predicted all the matches. Let's check this out here. So I wanted to remind everybody that All-Star voting ends on Wednesday. So go down to the All-Star voting channels and check that out. And then next week on the podcast, we're going to have the season 6 preview. We're going to talk to Cavalier and the rest of the admins. We're all going to be here, and we're going to chat about what the possibilities are for next season. Hopefully we'll have everything set in stone by then. Anything you've heard up until now is fake news. There's no solid numbers. There's no solid start date. There's no solid SRs, anything like that. It's all up in the air. We're going to be deciding that sometime this week. We're going to be nailing that down, finalizing that, trying to decide what we like, what we don't like. But we're trying to make the best tournament possible for everybody. Hopefully we're going to blow through that real fast because next week's podcast is going to be huge. This is going to be gigantic. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got that. And we got the All-Star nominations. the All-Star voting ends on Wednesday, which means that next Monday's podcast, we're going to announce who wins the All-Stars, and then we're going to have to do an All-Star draft to find out who plays in the All-Star game that takes place the week after the grand finals. So that's going to be a very big podcast, as well as maybe a little bit of predictions about who's going to win the grand finals from everyone. So it's going to be a very big podcast. We're going to have to trim the fat on that one, I think.
You can just mute my mic and I'll just be making reactions in the background.
Yeah,
that'll probably like 40 minutes.
Yeah, don't let Bard make any predictions next week because you'll never get.
And you get a tie. And you get a tie. And you get a tie.
I've already muted his mic. Don't worry, he's not going to be able to predict anything from now on. So anyway, that's it. We've kept the podcast for about an hour and 15 minutes. Yep. Congratulations, guys. We did it.
Well,
excellent. I had some issues because I didn't have the right scenes and sources in some of my later scenes in the Transcendence tier, but I made it work.
Good job, NPC.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Next week, Yeti will be back and all the rest of the admins. I will see you then. Tune in back here Wednesday night for that feature match. It's going to be amazing. We will see you then. Bard, Death Knot, Booth.
Do we have a drawing? Do we have a drawing?
We do have a drawing. We do have a drawing.
I got you guys.
Thank you so much for reminding me. Thank you so much for reminding me.
When Yeti forgets that it's okay because he doesn't do it, you do the drawing.
That's the thing. So I have to do it.
But
during
NPC's
a video,
running the show, so
because I have to look at all the things and do a random number generator.
Easy to forget. It's okay.
All right, so let's.
So I'll pull it.
Well, shouldn't we give some people time to get it in because we didn't give them?
No, I already pulled it. I pulled it while Bard was talking. Okay. He's muted right now.
Doing the random number generator.
No, okay. Random number generator, please. Beep. Okay. Dore Karasu.
Hey.
Dora Karasu? I don't know who this person is. Dora Karasu in the chat. All right. That person has won a Tranquility shirt with my head on it. Or any other lesser shirt if you want.
Or if you pick another shirt
the one you want.
Not as good.
Yeah, all the other shirts are not as good. So thank you so much for reminding me about the giveaway drawing. So we will be back next week. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and we will see you next week.